The development of agricultural and pastoral production starts with surpluses. Okay, surpluses in people means you need more food. Okay, so you have more people and perhaps a deficit of food because in the Fertile Crescent they had started to gather and harvest all of the wild grain, so there wasn't enough food to maybe feed the people that they had. So they had a surplus of people as it related to the food supply. So the way they fixed that in that area, the Fertile Crescent, is they created surpluses of food by developing farming. Now this was, based on a fundamental need that we all have, right, to eat food. And they ended up going with the grasses and grains that earlier foragers had passed up, right? Because it just wasn't as nutritious. There was other stuff out there. Well, we're now at the point where that's what we have. And we have a lot of that, and we have a lot of people. So our population has increased so much that we need to make different choices in terms of how we produce our food, how we procure our resources, okay? Now, when you have a surplus of food, you have to next think about how to deal with it. So from there emerges leaders. Leaders to lead the harvest, the planting, to mobilize the labor, and leaders to also perhaps protect the surpluses once they're there. They have to protect the surpluses because this generates wealth. So we have leaders, and then wealth, surpluses of wealth, and a need to protect all that, right? So the leaders that would protect it would be, military leaders, right? The kind of people who would organize might be scribes or scholars or even religious leaders. The connection here, though, is really about that surplus of wealth and what that means for the people who have it and the people who don't. It means class and social structure, right? It means we have big fish, okay? And we have the big fish who are relying on the small fish and who are relying on the even smaller fish, right? And basically, this leads to having to protect that from outside big fish. This leads to, these leaders organizing the labor, right, to build walls, right? They're building walls. These walls are challenged by outside threats, and this is how the development of agriculture leads to the development of cities. Now you may wonder, where's pastoralism in all this? Well, pastoralism, remember the big fish, right? Think about someone who has to plow a field, right? And someone who has to hoe a field. If you hoe by hand, can you get as much work done as if you plow with a plow pulled by an ox, okay, or some form of cattle or other beast of burden? This immediately, because the exchange of information between the pastoralists and the agriculturalists exchanges these technologies, right? This animal husbandry that the pastoralists developed, this domestication of animals, this passing on to the agriculturalists means some people are going to have it and some people aren't going to have it. Because some people will have enough of that wealth, right, to buy the ox and to buy the really nice plow, right? The nice plow made by the artisan, right? And some people won't. Some people will have to continue to hoe in the ground really simply, and unfortunately, they're not going to have as much wealth as others. So with agriculture comes socioeconomic class divisions and distinctions. Comes surpluses in food, but then also specialization in labor, because we have managers, and then we have artisans making tools, and also artisans making art, making things that are beautiful, things that give people enjoyment, right? Things that the wealthy, right, are going to perhaps give back to the people who provided that wealth in the first place. So let's not think of it as always bad, but the king is going to provide for the people. later on we're going to learn that providing for the people is definitely connected to a divine right and all that. So in the next video, key concept, it'll be key concept 1.3. We'll be getting on to the establishment of cities and the development into states. All right.